Hey gang, it is time for our weekly video of encouragement. I am sitting in my car in my driveway. We have had a cousin over this week, so it's been hard for me to get a video done. We've had her several days and they're inside playing Mario Kart right now. I had to run and get a inhaler refill, and I thought I'm gonna just hop on here and get this done before I go inside and get distracted with teenagers. So I was going through our library for members the other day, and I knew that I had done some kind of nut challenge update for you, but it ends up it was just a reel. I didn't remember that I didn't get a video done because I was not seeing the nut challenge. Sorry if I said OIT. I did not see a nut challenge video in our library, and I thought I did one of those. It turns out it was just a reel, and I wanted to take the time to document our first ever nut challenge here in a video for our library, so you guys can reference that as you have questions about nut challenges, just letting you know how ours went. It was this past summer, and when I did the reel, it was a super happy, good news reel, and a lot of you guys were inspired and encouraged by it, so that made me even more happy that I could share our story and encourage some of you guys. Let's see where to begin. Miles had, when he was younger, he didn't test allergic to tree nuts, but he also never really ate them besides drinking almond milk. And then when he was about 7, I fed him cashews. Of course, Jeff was out of town because my brain was not working, and he had a really bad reaction then when he was about 7. So we went to Dr. Siri, our allergist. She told us to stay away from all nuts. Miles reminded her he drank almond milk. She said, okay, well, keep doing that if it works, but stay away from nuts. So we always did, and it really eliminated some extra dairy-free. A lot of you guys know foods and labels and things like that when it comes to something will be dairy-free, but it'll say processed in a plant with tree nuts or may contain tree nuts, and our allergist had actually advised that we stay away from that. So it ruled out some dairy-free things because we didn't want to chance it with the tree nuts. So Miles was doing really well with his allergy shots and his milk OIT, and we reached maintenance on milk OIT. We did down dose significantly for his maintenance, so he could have some wiggle room for enjoying milk things like pizza, a little bit of chocolate, not too much ice cream, but mostly pizza and a little bit of chocolate. So we got him on his ideal maintenance for milk, and it was time. He was super ready to figure out where he was with nuts, because he was tired of avoiding certain dairy-free things because of nuts. So all of us were ready, actually. So it's kind of crazy. Dr. Siri, his test looked really good for let's see, for cashew and pistachio. They said his numbers were still crazy high. They didn't know if he would ever be able to eat those. But for walnut, pecan, almond, hazelnut, they looked really good. And so they had said that, hey Adriana, good to see you. They said that we could challenge, when we came in for our very first ever nut challenge, that we could do either walnut or walnut or hazelnut. And a nuance to this is his hazelnut used to be off the charts like his cashew and pistachio. Remember, his reaction was to cashew. That's related to pistachio, and those numbers are still high. He drank almond milk. His numbers looked 0 for almond, good for hazelnut, good for walnut, but it's really weird because his hazelnut really changed, really changed through the years with his allergy shots and his milk OIT. So we didn't know which one to bring in, so we had some black walnuts from Grandpa Kaufman's yard and his walnut trees, and then we brought in Nutella. which we were not thinking because it contains milk, and we made a boo-boo there. So we went in with black walnuts and Nutella for the hazelnut. And when we got there and realized it had milk, I sent Jeff to the store for Justin's, which can be a dairy-free nut butter. And so he got chocolate, Justin's, hazelnut, and almond. So we just had this like crazy mix of different kinds of, oh, it's spotty. Oh, Adriana, I am in my driveway, so I hope it's spotty on your end, but I'll take a look. Thank you for the replay to make sure it's good, because this is good info. Thanks for letting me know that. I hope it works okay. So I'll make this a little shorter in case I have to redo it. But basically, Dr. Siri ended up doing all of it, checking all of it, and said that the milk content with the Nutella would be fine because of his OIT. So we actually challenged that. It went fine. We did the black walnuts, total pass. And we did the Justin's with the almond and the Nutella, the almond and the hazelnut, and it was fine. You guys, it was a 5-hour visit because we did 3 different products, 3 different nuts, no issues whatsoever. In fact, a funny fact is that you guys know Jeff's dad is one of the allergists there, and he just said to us when we told him how completely uneventful it was, he said he may not have never been allergic to nuts really, those nuts really, except that just his bucket was so full all these years with his environmentals and his milk that it just kind of read that way in his testing. So I thought that was an interesting comment, because it really was so easy for him to do the challenges in the same day. And we only did that, I'm pretty sure, because it was going so well. And we were just like, we are here for it. Like, we don't care how long this takes. Let's just knock all these out. So, we ended up celebrating at Panera, because that is a little chain restaurant out of St. Louis that has several nuts in the place. And when Dr. Siri would see his high nut numbers before in testing, she would always say, don't go to Panera, that place has lots of nuts, don't do that. And so I'm crazy, it was just me and Miles, and we were like, this was such a good day in the allergy office, we are so going to Panera. So we went there. We ordered dairy free because we can only have so much a day, but he ended up with like a chicken noodle soup and a bread, like their French loaf, I think is dairy free, and their sourdough, and I think maybe like a turkey sandwich. But it was just really fun because knocking off just another thing just opens up more doors. My encouragement in that is, like, his milk stuff is just not perfect. I mean, we have to be so careful, but anytime you can just knock something off, find a way to super duper celebrate that, and like find a new food that you can really, really enjoy because you've knocked something out. Just because he can't just go into Panera and eat anything he wants and all the dairy and all that, like, he can eat something. And so he really likes now that he can do that. A cookie that he couldn't have, a dairy-free cookie that was processed with nuts that we always told him no. They're really big, thick cookies that you buy individually. I can't remember the name, but maybe I'll leave a picture one in here when I have one in our pantry. Like, that's something we brought back. So just for doing all that hard work of doing the challenge, we want to make sure that we can find something exciting that he can now add back into eating to know that it was worth it. We just didn't do it to see good results for one day. We want to see some real fun change and movement, on a day-to-day basis. So where we are now, the reason I went to go check if I had this in the library is we need to do the next challenge, which is going to be, and this, I don't know, this is something I'm not quite sure about what I would recommend, but I asked Dr. Siri if, because we passed the black walnut challenge, if that meant we could just assume that he was good with the English walnuts. I really didn't want to do another challenge or pay for another one, but I guess that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna do pecan with that. So we met our deductible with this huge challenge, and Jeff was like, get in there before the end of the year. So by the end of the year, it's scheduled, I think in December, we're going to go in and do the English walnut. And I actually found a bag. I'll leave that in the pictures of this, in the comments of this post too, of a company. I think I have Liz to thank for this, for a company that does just English walnuts. And I have the bag in my refrigerator. I thought we would be good to go to like put them in brownies and stuff and expose Miles to those, but since we haven't officially tested that variety, I guess I'll be taking those to the challenge. They're in my refrigerator to keep them as good as possible. So we did the black walnut, but now we're gonna do the English walnut. You might want to ask your doctor, if you ever do these nut challenges with walnut, which one to do, and if it means you're automatically good to go on the other one. I did not foresee doing a challenge for both kinds of walnut, but I guess we're going to. And then a pecan, because again, his numbers went like basically to 0 on these, so that's really good. I think possibly that maybe would have meant we could, some doctors may say you could do the challenge at home, but we're just gonna do it all official and do the other kind of walnut and pecan at Dr. Series. I will say another fun thing that we've been able to do is, you know, when things say it's processed with nuts, we used to totally avoid that. And you have to do whatever your doctor says. But just because he flew through hazelnut, black walnut, almond, his number 0 on pecan, 0 on English walnut, I'm like, we think that when it's processed in a plant with nuts, like, unless it's cashew and pistachio, it's just less risk. I mean, just mathematically, there's a better chance that it's going to work for us. So we're just keeping that in mind as we look at products, and, you know, just trying to make our best judgment on something, if it's something he really wants, and if we know about the company and what they're making. Anyway, that's all like a totally gray area. But having passed several nuts does help. And I will also add that he outgrew peanut as a toddler. So all of this chitter chatter has nothing to do with peanut. He and Graham both tested really high when they were very small, never had a reaction to it. And then through toddler year, preschool year of testing with allergies, they both just ended up a 0 and both passed a challenge. So I'm talking about tree nuts specifically in this video for sure. So just to recap again, we flew through this summer his very first ever nut challenges. Really did not know what to expect, but that was hazelnut, which was crazy because he used to have really high numbers on that. Almond, which wasn't surprising because he drinks almond milk, but the and then the black walnut, which was a 0 now on testing, which ended up, the challenge went great. Next challenge, we're going to do pecan. I still need to find a source for pecan, so if anybody knows one, let me know for that challenge. I think Tracy had a good one. I'm going to have to ask her if she doesn't answer me in this video. And I have the English walnuts already, and maybe it's Derby. That name comes to my head all of a sudden. Derby walnuts. I already have those in my refrigerator to do the English walnut. And cashew and pistachio are still pretty serious numbers for Miles, so we're just gonna have to see what happens after this second challenge to know what to do next for pistachio and cashew. And that is the update. Miles was really happy to pass those tests. I did a little reel, and that was pretty much the video that I did back in the summer for you guys, so I'll have to link that for you too. It was pretty special and exciting. But yeah, we do think that some of the success is coming with the allergy shots and having brought down the bucket with environmental allergies and milk allergies, and then we were able to go into nuts, which we knew, man, we've been doing this OIT for 5 years. We kind of knew that that would be the progression, and it just felt really strange to finally get to a place where we could check out what was going on with the nuts. And thank goodness it was good news. So yeah, we're just plugging away, and who knows if he was ever allergic to walnut and hazelnut, but he passed the challenge. So we are excited about that. Again, it's been since the summer. I just wanted to make sure I had this video done for all our documenting and for just sharing our OIT journey with you guys. Put this in our library so we can encourage and inspire others who are tackling nuts at some point. Again, Nutella has milk in it, so that probably was not the best thing for us to try, but he liked it. He wraps it in tortillas and eats it now. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's what's going on here. I will let you know for sure in December when we get done with the next number 2 nut challenge. But we've already challenged 3 total nuts in the first challenge, and hopefully we're going to do 2 in the next challenge, and then that will leave us with pistachio, cashew as the third thing that we look at. And yes, we are bunching together. I know some of you guys were surprised to hear that we are doing multiple. Totally depends on your doctor. And I have heard our allergists say before, like they like to do 1 allergen first, so that would be our milk. And once you get to a decent place with that, then they're comfortable doing multiples. So, but that might have changed. There's been a lot of things come down the pike recently, you know, and desensitizing, that maybe that is a different, maybe they would have a different opinion on that, but that's one way that allergists could be thinking, like, let's just do 1 and see how it goes, and then if you have success, we may be able to do multiples. So, and nuts have always been one that I think that they would do multiples, more be inclined to do multiple on. And of course there is OIT where we could do the slit on the cashew and pecan or pistachio, or I don't know. I think they would, I don't know if they would ever even let it come near him, or if we would do a slit. I honestly don't know. I'm the type of person who likes to do 1 thing at a time, and that is going to be nut challenge number 2 in December. So I will keep you posted. I hope you guys are encouraged. I hope you are inspired. Do not give up hope on kicking allergies to the curb. If you have done any nut challenges or OIT or desensitizing, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear. I know several of you guys have done nut challenges for just like 1 nut or maybe 2, and so even though maybe you can't have all of them, there might be 1 or 2 that you can do. I would love to hear. I know we have been able to do almond for a long time with almond milk, but of course we could never really do almond nuts because they're always processed with other nuts. So it's just one of those categories that's like just always the snowball reaction. So it would make for a really good discussion in the comments if you have some things to share about the nuts that you are eating. It's officially fall here. Wait, let me turn you around real quick. I'm going to end with some pretty trees. The trees are just really, really pretty. And look at my baby tree. And it's red. I love it. But yeah, we got trees turning here like crazy, and I will leave you guys